Let's hug it out, bitch. Entourage is directed by Ellin, stars Kevin Connolly, Adrian Grenier, Jeremy Piven, Jerry Ferrara, and Kevin Dillon. And a bunch of cameos who I'm not going to name off the top of my head because there were so friggin' many. And we also have Haley Joel Osment and Billy Bob Thornton too. This is a movie I've been very hyped up to see because I am a big fan of the Entourage TV show, which ended 4 years ago. It ran for 8 seasons, but technically it ran for 7 years, so whatever. And I've been really pumped for this movie. So the plot for this movie is really, there's really no plot that you really have to know, but just in case if you want to know, when Vince does his next movie, he also wants to direct it, and Ari, who's now the studio head, wants to be like, ugh, I don't know, Vince should direct this, we don't know. So then we also deal with these co-financiers played by Billy Bob Thornton and Haley Joel Osment, and troubles ensues. And it's your typical Entourage thing. It's basically an Entourage episode that's an hour and a half long. Critics have been bashing the living shit out of this movie because you know what? Here's the thing. This movie is made strictly for the fans. It's not made for professional critics, you Rotten Tomatoes critics. Oh, this is not a good movie for me because there's too much awesomeness in this movie and it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I'm a professional critic and I make more cha-ching and I can say whatever I want when the fuck I want to. Shut the fuck up, critics. This movie's made for us fans and I absolutely loved it. Don't get me wrong, I had flaws with the movie, but this movie was so damn enjoyable, I had a great time seeing it. What I love so much about this movie, my favorite thing is the characters are back, and they all work together so freaking well. I always loved seeing all these characters together. They all have great chemistry, the cast is just great, they have great chemistry together. All the actors from the series show my consider roles. My favorite, I've always debated between Drama and Ari, but honestly, Ari's my favorite, and Jeremy Piven as Ari. You know what? This film was critically acclaimed. I would have loved it if Jeremy Piven got an Oscar nomination for this movie. He won 3 consecutive Emmys for the show. That's how incredible his performance is. Like, oh my god, Ari has great lines in this movie. He, in my opinion, even though a lot of people weren't a fan of the last 2 seasons, I enjoyed the last 2 seasons of the show. They weren't as great as the first 6 seasons. Ari was hands down the best thing about those seasons. Ari was the best thing about the entire show, other than the chemistry between all these characters. The stuff that Ari does in this movie, wow. I really like Vince. Adrian Grenier is really good. Kevin Connolly is E. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with E in this movie, and it's just insane what E does in this movie. I really like E. Kevin Connolly does a good job. Jerry Ferrara as Turtle. It's just Turtle. I mean, Turtle's funny. Kevin Dillon playing Drama. Perfect. I mean, honestly, he has a lot of funny moments. Out of the 4 guys, like the 4 main guys, he is definitely the funniest out of those 4 guys, but Ari is the funniest character on the show. Also, I really dug Haley Joel Osment and Billy Bob Thornton in this movie. Billy Bob Thornton played basically a version of his Bad Santa character, but less funnier. But Haley Joel Osment, what he does in this movie is insane. Like, just really insane. But I enjoyed them in this movie very much. I just love the dynamic in this movie. Yes, this movie's insane. There's a lot of shit that goes on in this movie. But it's so entertaining for a fan of the TV show. Like, this was a very satisfying movie for a fan like me. Like, listen, if you guys truly love Entourage, you'll love this movie. If you do not like Entourage at all, you better stay away from this movie. Because there was one critic, I don't know who wrote this, but I read a review saying, oh, I don't like the TV show, so I don't like the movie. Why the hell would you see the movie if you don't like the show? Common sense! People gotta understand that this movie was made for the fans. There are people I know who haven't watched the show that really didn't like the movie. Do I think it's good for people who haven't watched the show? I really don't know. It all depends, honestly. Like, at first, when the trailers were coming out, I thought it would be a good idea for people who haven't watched the show. But now, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, some of the jokes didn't work for me. There were a lot of cameos in this movie, and at times that was a little annoying. But that's what Entourage is. There's all these cameos and stuff. It worked better for the TV show, in my opinion. There were some subplots in this movie that really weren't fleshed out like I wish. And then there's the whole E and Sloane thing. By the way, Sloane is gorgeous as hell. Even when she's preggo, she is beautiful. I mean, oh my god, that woman is gorgeous. Holy shit balls. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. But I'm serious, like, some of the subplots don't really work for me, but I still think the movie is a lot of fun. It's very energetic. Was it perfect like I wish it was? No, unfortunately, but I still really, really liked it a lot. I thought it was an awesome movie. even though I had flaws with it, I still recommend this movie. If you're a big fan of the show, I highly recommend you go see this movie, but maybe I would suggest finishing the show first and then seeing the movie. If you're not a fan of the show, then don't watch this movie whatsoever. If you haven't watched the show, like if you say, oh, I like the idea, but I haven't watched it yet, give this movie a shot. As a big fan of the TV show, I wasn't let down, even though there were some problems with the movie, but overall, I could definitely say that I really, really enjoyed Entourage. I'm going to give the film an A-. So guys, tell me down below what you thought in the movie. Tell me your flaws, if you had any. Who's your favorite characters on the show? What's your favorite episode? What's your favorite season? Do you hope that there's like a sequel to this movie? I feel like there is going to be one, but I wouldn't mind the sequel. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Victory!